Before we begin, viewer discretion is strongly advised. The following is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Another wave of heartbreak is hitting Hollywood as André Rieu's son shares some very sad news about the beloved music legend. For more than 50 years, André, known as the King of the Waltz, has captivated audiences worldwide with his unforgettable music and charm. But after a series of cancelled shows, fans started to worry. Rumors about his health began to spread, though nothing was confirmed until now. His son, clearly emotional, has finally spoken out and confirmed the worst. What serious illness is André Rieu facing? Could this be the end of a legendary chapter in classical music? Stay tuned as we reveal the emotional story behind André Rieu's heartbreaking diagnosis and the touching farewell from his son. A familiar struggle returns. For decades, André Rieu has amazed audiences everywhere with his grand performances and deep passion for music. As the heart of the Johann Strauss Orchestra, his concerts are pure magic, drawing fans across many generations. But behind those incredible shows, the Dutch violinist has faced serious health challenges that almost ended his career. Back in 2010, Rieu was famous for never taking a day off due to illness. He even said he didn't get jet lag, which is impressive for someone always traveling around the world. But everything changed one night during a holiday in Belgium. Around 3 a.m., Rieu woke up feeling dizzy. The room seemed to spin uncontrollably. At first, he didn't understand what was happening. The next morning, he felt completely drained. Before that moment, Rieu's schedule had been packed with work and stress. He had rushed to finish a DVD project, started intense Spanish lessons to prepare for upcoming concerts in Mexico, and endured extreme heat, all within a few days. Looking back, he said he was always either going full speed or completely stopped. He had believed that happiness and mental strength could keep illness away, but that night forced him to rethink everything. Doctors diagnosed him with vestibular nerve infection, a condition that affects the inner ear and disrupts the body's balance. Even a simple cold can trigger it. The illness made him feel nauseous and dizzy whenever he stood up. At first, Rieu didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but soon he had to cancel whole tours in Australia and the UK. Taking 6 months off was unthinkable, not only because of his love for performing, but also because he was responsible for a big team. He had to get a brain scan to make sure it wasn't something worse, like a tumor. Thankfully, the scan came back clear. Determined to get better, Rieu tried many treatments and even took advice from fans online. One fan from Australia sent him a letter suggesting balance exercises, which he practiced every day. These included walking in figure eights, moving his eyes in certain ways, and standing on one leg with his eyes closed. Rieu said these exercises helped a lot, and after 3 months, he felt healthy again. His recovery made him rethink his lifestyle. He took a hard look at what he was doing and realized that many tasks outside of music, like paperwork, business events and lectures, were wearing him down. He made 2 lists, things he loved and things he didn't. Unsurprisingly, music was on the short love list, while the stress-filled tasks were on the longer one. He decided to cut out the stress and focus on joy, passion, and well-being. Experts say vestibular neuritis usually gets better in a few weeks, but some cases can come back. Rieu knew this and accepted that stress could bring it back. That's why he vowed to only work on what he loved and protect his health. Now, years later, troubling news has come back. His son recently shared that Rieu is facing a serious health scare again, causing fans to worry and remember his past struggles. Is this another relapse or something worse? What is André Rieu really fighting now? The worst fear comes true. Everything was planned perfectly. André Rieu and his orchestra had just returned to Mexico after 6 years, and fans were overjoyed. The excitement was real. The concert sold out, and the first 2 shows in Mexico City went well. But less than a day after the second performance, disaster struck. André suddenly fell ill. What many feared was confirmed. He had caught a bad flu with a high fever and complete exhaustion. The tour had to be cancelled. His son Pierre Rieu shared the full story. He said the long flight, jet lag, and Mexico City's high altitude made things hard right from the start. André had only 1 day to rest before his first show, not nearly enough. The combination of factors hit him hard, and his body gave out. What began as discomfort quickly became much worse. Pierre said it was a tough decision, but when André got seriously sick, they had no choice but to act fast and fly him home. For fans, the news was heartbreaking. Many had waited years for this moment, and the shows had been planned down to every detail. But it wasn't just the fans who were upset. The entire team was crushed. Pierre said everyone was disappointed, but health had to come first. The fear of something going wrong had always been there, but now it was real. André was very sick for a few days, barely able to do anything. It was a worrying time. Eventually he started to improve, but it took nearly a week for him to feel like himself again. "Yeah, I think it's possible to have fun in classical music," André once said. "Why not? Even Mozart had fun." Still, this scare changed how the team views long-distance tours. Pierre said if they return to Mexico, it won't be before 2025. They'll need more rest time, better planning, and fewer risks. What made this even tougher was André's age. At 74, long flights and quick show turnarounds are harder than ever. Pierre was honest. Traveling halfway around the world just isn't the same anymore. Trips to far places like Australia now seem almost impossible. He joked that people often compare André to younger artists or athletes, but his dad isn't 30 anymore. The body has limits, and ignoring them can lead to worse problems backstage. After the second concert, André was in good spirits, smiling and enjoying the moment. But he quietly told his wife he wasn't sure he could do tours like this again. His body had been sending warnings, and this time, it spoke loud and clear. The worst was confirmed. Pushing through wasn't an option anymore. If he wanted to keep playing music, he had to listen, rest when needed, and slow down. As André faced his own limits, the stress was also taking a toll on his team. Could the high altitude and tough conditions be wearing everyone out? It wasn't just Rieu who felt it. Performing at over 2,000 meters altitude is hard on everyone. There's less oxygen, which makes things tough. Donna Alberti, one of the lead singers who had traveled with Rieu since January, said she felt it during rehearsals. Her face would flush red, and nosebleeds became common. She laughed but admitted it was hard. During her song, "I Will Survive," she had to stop and drink water to get through. Pierre said he was proud of his father for knowing when to say enough. Canceling the shows was a hard choice, but pushing on and collapsing on stage would have been worse. André wasn't the only one affected. About 40,000 fans were disappointed, and a crew of 125 had to fly home early. The sudden change caused chaos with refunds, cancelled flights, and lost merchandise sales. Worse, the group wasn't insured for this kind of situation. Emma, another performer, said she went from singing to 10,000 fans to hearing the tour was over the next day. Even walking the streets, fans asked for photos, not knowing it might be their last chance to see Rieu perform in Mexico. The energy at the venue had been incredible. Outside, the area had turned into a market with unofficial Rieu merchandise, from mugs and teddy bears to t-shirts. Rieu had laughed about it back then. During every concert, the crowd's energy was electrifying as fans chanted André Rieu's name, filling the arena with a powerful wave of admiration and love. He experienced this overwhelming support night after night, with fans often reaching out to him afterwards saying it took them weeks to fully come down from the excitement and emotional high of his performances. Even during encores, when André would gently ask the crowd to head home, the response was always the same, an enthusiastic chorus of no, until he played just one more piece. It was clear that, up until that point, there had been no indication that something was seriously wrong. The music flowed freely, and the magic of the performances seemed endless. But then, quite suddenly, it all came to an abrupt halt. Back in his hometown of Maastricht, as André focused on rest and recovery, his son Pierre remained hopeful about the next concert plan for Liverpool. However, Pierre also admitted that the recent tour in Mexico might have marked the final time fans would see André Rieu perform there. Those earlier words from André, "I just want to stay healthy so I can keep doing this," now carried a somber, almost prophetic tone, quietly warning of the challenges ahead. This wasn't the first time that André's dedicated team had been shaken by the immense pressures and health risks tied to his demanding schedule. Looking back, André had once openly acknowledged how stress could take a dangerous toll on his health. His battle with a severe inner ear infection years ago, triggered by relentless overwork, had been a harsh lesson that forced him to refocus on what truly mattered, his music. For a time, it seemed he had managed to honor that promise, living his life and career with balance and care. But recent events have reignited fears among fans and drew painful comparisons to an earlier crisis that once deeply affected his followers. In 2016, a sudden cancellation of several tour dates sent shockwaves through the fanbase, sparking wild rumors about a possible relapse in André's health. Those whispers spread quickly, fueled by the memory of his past struggles, but it was eventually clarified that the cancellations were not due to André himself falling ill. Instead, tragedy struck when a beloved member of the Johann Strauss Orchestra suffered a fatal heart attack, leaving the group devastated and André needing time to grieve with his family. Despite this clarification, the emotional impact had already taken root in the hearts of fans and the community. Now, nearly 10 years later, history seemed to echo once more. Just today, it was announced that André Rieu's highly anticipated sold-out concert at the Motorpoint Arena in Nottingham, UK, had been postponed under heartbreaking circumstances. Early that morning, a member of the orchestra experienced a severe heart attack, sending shockwaves through the entire team. In an official statement, André's production company expressed how devastated he was by this emergency and deeply saddened to cancel the show. The injured musician remains in critical condition, and fans were asked for patience and understanding as everyone hopes for recovery. A new date for the performance will be revealed when the situation stabilizes. Though the postponement wasn't related to André's personal health, many fans grew anxious, wondering if the emotional burden of such a traumatic event might trigger another health crisis for the maestro. After all, the Johann Strauss Orchestra isn't just a group of musicians to André, it's his extended family on the road, a close-knit team that has shared triumphs and tragedies together. This recent event stirred memories of the panic and concern that had gripped fans during the 2016 tour. Faced with a series of health challenges and emotional hardships, André Rieu came to an important, deeply reflective decision: to slow down. After only 2 shows in Mexico, the harsh reality forced him to cancel the remainder of the tour and return home to Maastricht. Although he wished he could continue performing at full strength until the end of his days, the intense strain was simply too much to bear this time. Returning to the comfort of his home alongside his wife, Marjorie, it quickly became clear that trying to compensate for missed concerts was out of the question. André rarely speaks about these struggles himself, leaving much of the communication to his son and spokesperson, Pierre. Pierre explained that multiple factors contributed to his father's health challenges, including the National Auditorium's location in Mexico City, sitting roughly 2.5 kilometers above sea level. The high altitude made breathing difficult and added significant physical stress, which was only worsened by André catching a severe flu during the trip. Despite a lifetime commitment to maintaining his health through regular exercise, tennis, jogging and healthy eating, the reality of age could not be ignored. André was proud of his stamina and resilience, but this time, his body simply could not keep up. His legs trembled, and fear of collapsing during a performance became real. It was this fear that ultimately led to the difficult decision to cancel the tour, a move rarely made by a performer as dedicated as André Rieu. Pierre shared that in the past, André had often performed even when battling fever or illness, pushing through for his fans no matter what. However, this experience was different. The physical and emotional toll was overwhelming. Thankfully, André has since made a full recovery, but the cancellation of 4 concerts left tens of thousands of fans disappointed. While ticket holders are receiving refunds, there are no current plans to reschedule the cancelled shows. Reportedly, André has told his team he does not want to endure such torture again. Long-distance travel to far-off places like Mexico or Australia can no longer be guaranteed. The exhausting flights and drastic time zone changes are simply too draining. Though concerts in nearby countries such as Chile, Argentina, and Colombia are still on the calendar later this year, the team is now carefully evaluating each opportunity, weighing the risks and benefits more prudently. Their approach going forward will be cautious, taking things 1 year at a time. While long-haul tours might be limited, fans from distant places are always welcome to join André in Maastricht, where he hosts his beloved summer concerts at Friedhof Square, events renowned for their unique and joyful atmosphere. André admits it's difficult to imagine giving up international performances entirely. His passion for music runs too deep, and the thought of stepping away from the stage is unsettling. During his illness, André realized just how much performing means to him. Not being able to play left him restless and anxious. He confessed that staying home without music felt maddening. To safeguard his health moving forward, André and his team have made a conscious decision to cut back on non-essential commitments such as interviews, presentations, and press events. André explained that when his schedule becomes too hectic, his balance organs flare up, causing dizziness and spinning sensations that make performing impossible. This condition has been with him for over 20 years, and while it has never fully disappeared, managing his energy and commitments better gives him hope for longevity in his career. André now focuses on the things that truly matter, prioritizing joy, passion, and well-being above all else. In a candid interview from his castle in Maastricht, André shared that he still feels there is so much life to live, too much to spend his days idly sailing on a cruise ship. He and his family take modest annual breaks, such as a 3-day trip to Rome, but beyond that, music dominates his schedule. He proudly claims the Johann Strauss Orchestra is not just any group, it is his orchestra, his life's work, and his legacy. André even joked that he is only halfway through his life, with an ambitious goal to live to 140 years old. Despite his age, his mind remains full of ideas for future tours and ways to improve on past successes. Yet, he also admitted that the reality of slowing down has hit hard. He experiences trouble sleeping after concerts, which is risky for his health, and recalls the particularly difficult lockdown period as a form of torture. To find comfort during restless nights, André took up baking, one of his lesser-known hobbies aside from music. He found joy watching baking tutorials on his phone, and his creations soon became a social media favorite, even earning him a guest spot on the Dutch version of the Great British Bake Off, known as Heel Holland Bakt. While some fans playfully suggested he consider a career in baking, André firmly dismissed the idea, emphasizing that his heart belongs to music. Through his spokesperson, he made clear that although he enjoys baking, nothing can replace his true passion for performing. Ultimately, this enduring love for music is what keeps him going, motivating him to entertain audiences and evolve as an artist no matter what challenges arise. "I only play the music that touches my heart," he said. Today, questions remain about André Rieu's current health and whether this might signal the end of his tours to distant countries like Australia. Fans are invited to share their thoughts in the comments, and to stay connected by liking, sharing, and subscribing for more updates. Don't forget to click on the next video suggested on your screen, you won't want to miss it.